Hello, I'm Suzie. It's a special video because it's my fall issue for the magazine cover video. We are going to create these beauties. Many of you have commented about the Gershion hybrid gel products. With their kit, using the dual form or poppet method, I'm going to build this beautiful foundation, then reshape them, and ultimately transform them into my magazine-worthy nails. I have my amazing goth guest, Tisha. Let's get started. Gershion is a hybrid gel, and we are going to build this beautiful set of nails out with this. So let's see what's in here. Love getting new stuff. Now this is sponsored by Gershion. They have sent this beautiful kit and everything we need is in here. So I have a little instructions. That's awesome. If you're getting this kit for yourself and doing your own nails, you're definitely going to want to watch my video and read this. Oh, okay, we got a nice file. That's taped right in there. Okay, that's great. And we have, I better put my glasses on so I'll make sure I read it right. It's a base coat and a top coat and the poppets. So I did a video on these once before and I had a guest and we did it, but I did it with the mind of someone who was just taking it out of the box for the first time, doesn't know anything about nails. So today I'm going to do it, someone taking it out of the box who knows what to do with it as a professional, but with the mindset of what you can do to optimize these babies and make them look gorgeous. So these are the poppets, which is awesome. And they have a nice little card. This is really cute. And they're very excited that we're trying the products and they can't wait to see what we create. That's really cute. And that wasn't to me. This looks like it's for everybody. Okay, so we've got some beautiful colors. Bean red. I've never seen a red hybrid gel. Okay, I might even take a look at that. Cover pink, dark pink, natural pink, white, and clear. All the colors that we need. Oh, and of course, we've got a really nice brush. Let's get a look. I'm very curious what the brush looks like. Oh, it's a much, much smaller bristle brush. Much smaller bristles than I'm used to, but I'm actually looking forward. I think that's going to work quite well. And let's see. Oh, yeah, and the little spatula on the other end. Awesome. Okay, let's get into it. Listen, I gotta. It's been a while. Okay, let me see. Okay, now I've got this beautiful hand to work with. Tisha works for me in my salon. She's my salon manager and she's done this set and we're gonna do them that long and we're gonna go with that shape. But I'm gonna show you how easily you can build a set of nails, which is important to building a beautiful set, a foundation of nails before we get to the design. So we're really gonna focus on that right now. So let's just follow the instructions. Make sure that I'm doing it exactly how the manufacturers have suggested. That's really, really important. Okay, so I've got a nice file, and this is a professional file, 100 to 180, and I am going to take either side, actually. I would probably, we got a little bit of a gel on here, but I'm going to take the, probably the 180 side, which is, you can just feel it, the grittier one will be the 100, and the 180 will be the more gentler one. So all I'm going to do, sort of do in little circular motions. Now, of course, I can get my drill out and I can do, but we're not going to do that. It was not in the kit. So we're going to do with what's in the kit. And this is a very nice file to do that with. You want to prep the nail. The whole idea here is we're getting rid of any of the oils, dirt. Well, we washed our hands, so hopefully there's no dirt. We're just taking away the shine of the natural nail. We want to prep that so the product will adhere. We're going to do this very gently with all the nails. If there's any little bit of nail polish on, you want to get that off too. Sometimes little bits will hang around. Now, Tisha had a full set of nails on here, but she removed them so we can do this video. You're my goth girl.
Yes.
Now, you've taken up nails. Now, she started in my salon as a receptionist. She's also my niece, that's how I found her. And then she's kind of taken a liking to the nails. I think she saw one of our girls building her clientele so fast, she decided, This is pretty good, pretty lucrative. Is that that's what I understand happened?
Yeah, I've always kind of wanted to work in the beauty industry as well.
Yeah.
I think it was just, I was surrounded by nails all the time, and I just thought they were so beautiful. And I was really bored one day, and I decided to just try building a nail, and I sent it to you. And
I know. You sent me that picture, and I was like, what? Did Chelsea do that for you? Nope, I did it, she says. And you really like it.
Yeah, it's so fun. I'm really happy you're doing my opposite hand, though, because not so fun.
No. Isn't that the truth? Doing your opposite hand can be so tough.
Very thankful.
Okay. I think we're good. Okay, so it says file and clean the nail surface and the edge. Apply a thin layer or base gel. And they do provide that, of course. So let's get our base gel. Okay. And let me see how long they say to cure it for. It doesn't say specifically. Let me see if it says it on the... Yeah, they don't say specifically how long they want you to cure it for. So this is an LED that I'm using, and I am going to cure it for about 30 seconds. That's a general what I find. And we just want to put a nice, oh, it did say thin layer, didn't it? We want to put a thin layer. Don't touch the skin. You don't want anything to touch the skin. And the reason why we're doing a thin layer is this is acting as a adhesion layer. So wherever you put this, the gel, the hybrid gel that we're going to put on next is going to stick to this particular spot. If you don't put this section on, there's a good chance your hybrid gel will pop off. Okay, just make sure that you don't hit the skin. We don't want to do that. Okay, go ahead there, Tisha. New kit. Oh, it does say when we're curing the poppet part, it does say 2 minutes in a UV, 30 to 60 in an LED. So I'm going to say it's probably 30 seconds for the base. If you are concerned with any company that you're working with, you can always email them and ask them specifically. That's what I would do. Any good company will answer that for you. So this is like a base coat so that our next poppet part will stick. Okay, so this is exciting. So I've done this once before. Honestly, the video was a little bit misunderstood because I did it from the mind of someone who doesn't know how to do this. So I'm going to do this now from a professional point of view. Let me get these out. Amazing. Professional point of view, so you can maximize how to make these look great. So the whole idea of these types of product is to make it super, super easy, to simplify the whole procedure. So I would not compare these to an acrylic or a sculptor gel nail that you go to a salon that somebody is very skilled and trained and learned this craft. This is sort of like if you gave a baker a packaged cake mix as opposed to them actually making their cake from scratch because they know how to do it. The baker knows how to do that. But a cake, box cake, you just add some water and an egg and you're good to go. So they're not to compare, but it's a quick way to get a nail if you don't have those skills. So that's why this is kind of cool. But there's a few things we have to sacrifice not having. And sometimes people notice those things that are missed and sometimes people don't. But this is kind of a really cool way to get that nail without having to do a whole lot of work. So what we have to do right out of the gate is make sure we're putting on the right size. So you know how like you go to a salon and get your nail done, whoever did them for you, you've got the nail. So that nail that's already shaped and sculpted and refined to your finger as much as possible is trying to be simulated and stuck inside here. So we literally just put it in this mold and slap it on to your nail. But it's not going to fit everybody. So we try to find the one that they've supplied all these tips or poppets. We try to find it best fitting to the nail that we have. First of all, color. Now I am going to do design on this as well, but I am very curious about this red bean. How about you? Does that,
Yes.
I'm curious about that. Being that this is sort of a Halloween goth dark kind of look, I don't know if this is going to give us what we want. I'm very curious if they can get the pigment of red. So let's give it a whirl. Okay, look at that.
Ooh.
It's not like a goth, deep, scary red like your beautiful lips. It's more, oh, I did forget to size it. Okay, so I'm just going to, it's not going to cure unless you put it in natural light or the UV lamp or the LED. So I'm just going to find one here that might fit. Now, I'm not a pro at these, so here's a little pro tip when you're doing something that is new. Do it on a finger that's not noticeable, maybe the pinky or the thumb, because people notice these fingers mostly. And when you work into it, don't start with the one that people notice the most. Start with the pinky. So let's start there. Okay, so I'm just going to sort of size this up. That might work quite well, especially when I press it into. Yeah, that's going to work. Okay, so this actually fits your finger quite nicely. And the part you're really looking at is the cuticle part. Some people's cuticles are quite square. Some people's are very round. Some people's are very pointy oval. Hers actually fit this shape pretty good. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Oh, so it's moved a little tiny bit. I probably have too much in there, but what's this I'm going to do? I'm going to adjust. Oh, that's the tip end, so we want to get it in here. So I'm going to put that in there. I might have a bit much, but I do want these long, so I'm just going to keep this little bit over here. Oh, I do want to tell you guys, some companies, when you buy this stuff, they have a solution that you can mold it with, but this one didn't, which is fine because you don't really need that so much. It's just alcohol. So if you got yourself some alcohol, just put it in the bowl and you can use this as your solution to shape it. So you just want to get your brush bristles wet with the monomer, with the alcohol, and then just dap it off to the side so you don't have the flooding with the alcohol. So the alcohol is going to allow it so you can actually shape it. Now make it quite thin near the cuticle because that's what a professional nail technician does. When they create the nail to suit your nail, we are custom shaping them so precisely to your actual nail that we're making the cuticle area very, very thin. And then we're building out to the apex. And this is to simulate that in sort of a reverse fashion. So I'm going to make them very, very thin near the cuticle. Now, the only thing with this is you can't really add, to my knowledge. You want to get it right the first time. Because I don't really think it's easy to add. So I'm going to make it nice and thin near the cuticle, but make sure it's all there. Like you want to make sure the product is there, but it's got to be nice and thin. I feel like it's a little wimpy on the one side, so I'm going to push product into that spot. I'm going to make sure it's not, I don't think it has overlapped on the other side. And I'm going to get it toward the end because I really do want these quite long for the design that we're doing. Okay, so when I look at these, my fear is it's just not thick enough. But because I don't really know, particularly in this fashion, in putting a nail on this way, I'm a little bit unsure. But I could make it too thick, and I don't want that either. So I'm just going to trust myself. I mean, it's a bit of a knack. You're going to have to just, as you go on, you'll learn, oh, I should have put a little more here, a little more there, or a little less here, a little less there. That's all part of learning nails, whether you're doing acrylic or gel. That's what we do. Okay. So I'm going to start in the cuticle. I'm going to snug it right in there, and I'm going to press onto the nail. And I'm pressing down into the nail. Okay, and then I'm going to take my brush and I'm just going to go around. Like I say, if you're using monomer, don't do this with monomer. That's not good. See all the excess stuff out of there? Now we can file, so we don't have to panic. We just don't want to cure any product on the customer or yourself's finger, right? Okay, now I've seen some where they flip it upside down. See, look at that big clumpy bunch of, and I'm going to hold it against my finger, and I'm going to actually move the product so it's not so thick there. I'm glad I have that product there so I can move it toward the free edge because we want a long nail. Okay, let me just flip it there and see. Oh, look at that, it moved. That's the thing with this. You got to check it all the time. Okay, I think we're good. Let's nuke it. So the reason I'm going to nuke that right away, you could do them all, but you can see how you can easily bump into it. It can shift, it can move, and it's so precise that you don't want that. So I would nuke it as you go. So you know for sure that it's in there. I will say I am finding this a bit messy. So I'm getting, and you're not really supposed to touch product to your fingers all the time. And it could be because, you just need a little more practice, but maybe wear gloves if you're first learning how to do this until you get used to it. There's a bit of technique just like there is with anything, right?
Is it 30 seconds for every
Yes.
time?
30 seconds in an LED.
All right.
Okay, so now we get to pop it off. Oh, let me see what the directions, if it's how it says. I forgot to even read any of that. Pick up some gel and put on a duoform. Shape the gel on the nail. Yep. Apply and nail mold. Cure. And then remove. Yep. Okay, so we did all that. So now I imagine if you just kind of squeeze it together a little bit. Ooh. Okay, now it says 30 seconds. I don't want to rip my customer's nail plate off. So I'm going to think that maybe it's not ready to come. So we're going to nuke it for another 30 seconds because maybe it says here 30 to 60 seconds in an LED. So now we know it might need the 60, which is what we're finding out, right? Okay, so it just says you can pop it off.
Maybe try to detach.
Oh, you know what? It is detaching right here. And the little tips that it gives you. Oh, here we go. Oh, if you squeeze it, I'm trying to squeeze it together.
Yeah, I think it's...
There we go.
Oh.
See, look at that.
Crazy.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this one little guy. And what you do is you take off the stick. I believe it says that. Remove the nail mold, which is the poppet they're saying. Wipe and remove the sticky layer. Okay, and now you can actually start shaping it. It's nice and long. That's exactly what I wanted, nice and long, so we can almond these guys right up. Wow. Well, we're going to do different colors, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the rest. Okay, well, I'm getting a little bit better at it. Now, when you squeeze this, you got to squeeze it pretty hard. We want to do it for 60 seconds. You're squeezing it pretty hard. It's like you're separating it. By squeezing it, you're separating it from the actual nail that's cured. And you can sort of see it. You can see an air bubble appear. Oh, here it comes. But you do have to squeeze it pretty hard. There we go. Okay, so the sizing I'm getting a little bit better at. But of course it's not going to fit perfectly because this is not a custom nail. This is a system to try to emulate an awesome skilled acrylic or gel nail that is done by a skilled nail technician. So it's trying to emulate, trying to save you some corners to get that. Okay, we got one more to go. Let's see if we can try to do it without getting stuff everywhere. Okay. That seems to fit pretty good. So I'm finding that it really is just trying to get a feel for how much product you need on there, that when you put it on, it squeezes it out all into the right spaces. That is a trick within itself. So I'm going to use white. White is probably a good way for you to be able to see it. Let's see how white it is. And you know what? I can squeeze it right onto here. Oop. It's got little air pockets in it. I had to add a couple of times on the nails that I've already done. So I'm going to add a little extra because I don't really want to add. And when you do this part, I mean, the idea is you really don't want this stuff touching your fingers and your skin all the time. I would probably, if you're doing this at home, I'd recommend that you wear gloves because you don't want to be getting it on your skin on a regular basis all the time. That can cause allergies. We have that issue in our industry right now is allergies because people are letting stuff touch the skin too much. I know enough about myself to know that I'm a nice person and I don't like to say anything nasty about anyone or anything. This company has sponsored this particular video, but that does not compromise my honesty and my professional opinion. I think this stuff is pretty cool to play with and see if you can make a nail that is looking like that, but it is not a replacement for an actual skilled nail technician. But it's fun to play. Okay, now with the white, I almost feel like I can see better because the color's a bit more opaque. So I can see that I've covered the nail completely, but it's probably too thick because when I squish it on, it's probably going to squish out everywhere. But that is, like I say, we're trying to build a nail inside here like a nail technician builds a nail on top of the nail. We're trying to build it in this little area and guesstimate and then slapping it on the nail. Okay, so let's see if we can get this guy on here and make it a little bit happy. So when I put this on, I'm sort of leaning it into the cuticle and I'm pressing it down into the nail. Because it's such a thick putty-like material, being the hybrid gel itself, it does suck it into it. But I'm going to gently flip it over. I'm not going to do the sides yet because I keep doing that and I keep going back to it and redoing it. But see how thick and icky it is underneath? Well, we don't want that. I'm going to pull that away and bring it to the free edge a bit more because I do want to make a nice long nail. We're going to go almond. Now we're going to flip it back over and you can see, now this one didn't bubble up, but I do see it squishing out to the side. So technically that's touching the skin. I'm using alcohol, but I'm going to wipe that away. So professionally speaking, if we did this in the salon over and over and over, that would not be good. We do not want the product to be touching the skin constantly. Okay, nuke that. It is sticky though, I can't seem to get around it. Gloves would help that. There is a lot of advantages, and when the filing comes up, I'm going to show you what those advantages are. Okay, so we're going to squeeze and pop. Oh, yeah. Didn't make a sound, but it came off. Okay, I just have the thumb left to go. Okay, well, there you go. Look at that little thing. I have to file all that off. Okay, so let's just remove the stick. Because when you're working with gels, hard gels and stuff like that, it has a dispersion layer that comes to the surface. This is the part of the curing process. When you're doing gels, almost all the gels, I believe, they cure about 90%. And that's why the lamp is so important. You want to make sure you have a good quality lamp and that's a high enough wattage to be able to cure the product that you're working with. Okay, so now we are going to file. Okay, so now these are cured and ready for us to shape. And this is where we can sort of fix things when we don't like certain things. Like, so what am I having an issue with? I don't really like some of the sides and I need to make sure those cuticles are going to grow out nice and smooth. That's my pet peeve as an artist. That's what I look out for. This file works pretty good. This stuff is pretty soft to file. We want a long, stiletto-y, almondy type. So we're going to keep them long, eh? You good with that? I'm going to shape these right up. So the idea of these two is you don't have to file the surface if you like it, but when you start filing, especially when I'm reshaping it, it's a bit thick on certain sides. So I will end up filing the surface of it because I'm trying to shape it so when I look down, it has a nice shape to it. Otherwise, it's just kind of thick all the way along. But you don't have to. So I'm going to shape all these up, and I am going to just check around the cuticle area, make sure that it is nice and flush, because we did have some squeeze out around there. And that's one thing you can do to try to give this a bit of a professional kind of look. But if you don't want to, just leave it, because right now it's right against the cuticle and nobody will really notice that. It's only when it grows out in a couple, 3 days or a week, you'll start to notice a little ridge if that's there, right? Which I can bet it's pretty much going to be there. So it just depends on how picky you are. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and shape all these up. Easy to file. Hybrid gels tend to be a bit softer than acrylic. Okay, so I used that file, and that file held out well, and I shaped them all up, and now we're going to top coat them.
So if someone wanted to fill these at home and do this continually, how would they go about that?
Well, that's a good question, because this is designed to not have any skills as far as sculpting, because when you do a fill, it grows out and you have to file it and you have to take up the product and put it back in the spots where you need it. In this case, if you don't have that skill, you can't do that. So you'll have to soak these off and then do another set. That's how they're designed. I mean, if it was me, I would just file it all off and I would fill as normal. You could just take the PolyGel and fill it in there, right? And how you remove them is you buff the surface of it. You want to break the seal of the gel, and then you want to soak these in acetone and soak them right off. So this is a top coat that has a thinner viscosity. I'm not quite as used to it. So when you put it on, nuke it right away because it's going to run on the finger, and you don't want that. Okay, well, this is a no wipe too, which is kind of nice because they come out of the machine and they're just done. Okay, so let's take a look at the reveal shots. We've built the foundation, and now we're going to have a little fun. So you guys sit back and relax, you too. And we are just going to decorate. Okay, look at the huge mess we just made. But these are gorgeous. Now I have one more thing to show you.
Ooh.
This is so different and so weird, but it's so cool.
Oh my gosh. Woohoo!
That's pretty fun. Perfect for Halloween.
Love it.
Now, let's check out the reveal shots. Well, I love those pictures. They're gorgeous. So if poppets are something you'd like to try, you can find that on Amazon. I think they're around $50. And it makes, I won't say quick, because there still is going to have some, you're going to have some time to apply to put those on. But those are a few tips that hopefully can help you get to the nail that you're looking for on a DIY kind of platform at home. These are gorgeous. I want to thank Gershion for sponsoring this video for my magazine cover for the fall issue. And thank you, Tisha.
Thank you.
You're a perfect model for this. They turned out cool. Thanks for joining us, you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.